Hey everyone, it is late afternoon. I am blessed with some shade right now. But I finally have found the time to get my Turkish eggplants into the ground. The reason why it took so long, these babies have been ready probably for about 2 weeks now, was because one, I was really contemplating of where to find the space for them, and two, I have lost my gardening hand tools. I don't know. Jeremiah went to Home Depot, I think, yesterday, and I said, please get me a little hand shovel because I have no idea where they are. But anyway, so the place I have decided to plant them is on this side of the bed where my onions, down to almost a singular onion now, is growing. So basically, I have called it quits for growing onions this season. I don't think I started them early enough. I started them right around the time our last frost date was happening, and they seemed to be doing pretty well. I started them a lot the same time I started the leeks, but they just slowly just dwindled one by one. So I'm gonna pull you in close so you can see what onion I have left. Maybe I'll leave that one, but I mean, otherwise the bed's pretty much just there and I can just make the holes and start putting in the eggplants. Alright, so let's get this video started and check it out. Alright, so here are the eggplants exactly. And unfortunately, these are not my first round of eggplants. My first round of eggplants were about this size, gorgeous, not putting flowers out yet like these guys are, but you know, just a very healthy size. And I put them in the ground over there on my transplant day, May 14th, and I think within 3 weeks, all of them were just completely massacred. And I mean massacred. When we came back from our mini honeymoon getaway, which was a week, there was just literally more stem than leaf, just like major Swiss cheese action. Oh, and I was just completely devastated. I love eggplants. They weren't Turkish eggplants though. They were Black Beauty variety. But when I started these, I didn't know that my other eggplants were gonna die. Otherwise, I would have planted more Black Beauties at the same time. But anyway, I was actually more excited for the Turkish eggplants just because I'd never grown them before, and I already have a bunch of canning recipes and ideas in my head that I want to try with them. So I'm gonna monitor these babies like a hawk. So they've been outside, I think, for a week now. They've had a little bit of insect bites, but nothing major, nothing like what happened before. So I hope whatever was eating them alive has since died down, or you know, what have you. But anyway, let's get these in the ground. And I know this bed is pretty much jam-packed, but I mean, I have no place at this point other than tilling the ground, which we're gonna do within another week or two, but these need to get in now because they're flowering. So here is the barren onion bed, and this is probably like the only onion that is doing well. Here's another one. So I could have nice spring onions, but yeah. But for comparison, I planted just as many leeks, and the leeks are doing quite well. Similar spacing, similar amount. So this is what the bed should have looked like, but you obviously see how it looks. Here is our best leek so far. Alright, let's see how many onions I can actually pull. Alright, so these are the onions that I've managed to pull. They're basically more like onion sets than real onions. I'm sure there's a bunch more still in the bed to be dug up, but I was just tracking them by their dead crinkled leaves, and I'm sure most of them are missing from the bulbs at this point, so they're just gonna have to get left in the ground. But these do smell wonderful. I happen to love the smell of onions. They make my mouth water, so I'm getting very hungry right now. But yeah, I'll probably like pickle these or something, and you know, they'll still get used if nothing else. So now it's time to put the eggplants in. Alright, I believe I'm going to be planting these every 18 inches. So the holes are dug, but I have noticed that the bed is quite dry, which makes sense. I haven't watered it in the past, I think 3 or 4 days, and it's been really hot. But yeah, since the sun is setting, I don't want to water them after they've been transplanted, so I'm just going to give the bed, this half of the bed, a really good soaking now before they go in. Miscounted for a second because I put all plants in and there was an extra space, and then I did like a double take, counted all my eggplants. Yes, I do have 6 eggplants, but I guess when shortening the distance I just dug an extra hole by accident. So I'm gonna grab one of my extra peppers and throw it in at the last spot. Here is a close-up of the eggplant, and I believe I saw one that already has a baby eggplant on it. Oh yeah, here it is. Little baby eggplant. So I just have to keep these guys alive long enough just to get a single eggplant and I'll be happy. Alright, so the eggplants and ancho are in the ground and they look happy so far. I don't have any more of those short cages for them, so it's going to be another challenge to try to figure out how to keep these upright. Thankfully they're not black beauties, so at least the fruits are small, so it won't have to bear a lot of weight. But other than that, I'm going to keep a very close eye on these guys daily just to make sure that no pests are getting to them and they're able to keep their leaves for the most part. Yeah, I have to research into more natural ways to keep the pests away, because honestly we don't have a problem with pests here that much, and the eggplants that we've grown in the past have, you know, only done well. So the fact that they just got massacred, yeah, it's still just kind of like weird that that happened. But anyway, so say a prayer for my eggplants, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.